All right, this video here is designed to help take us through a self-assessment to figure out where we are as a freelancer. And so we talked about the four stages of commitment earlier on, the four stages of commitment and connection. And we talked about the survivor, the dreamer, the visionary, and the achiever. And I'm going to use that phrase, that vocabulary here as we do this self-assessment, because really we want to figure out where we are as a freelancer, but we also want to figure out where we are in the different areas of freelancing. You know, for each of the 8 achievements, we might be a survivor in one, and a dreamer in another, and an achiever in another. So we want to dive into these at a high level as well as is deep down below. So we're going to start with the first achievement, which is fully committed to freelancing, and that's where we really ask ourselves, you know, how committed are we? And so we want to ask, you know, we want to find out, you know, am I a survivor? Am I simply doing what I'm doing with no idea or clue, just moving along where the current takes me? Am I a dreamer where I see the potential in freelancing and I'm exploring it, I'm learning about it? Am I a visionary? I've got an intent to freelance. I understand why I'm doing it and how I'm attempting to go about it. So I'm trialing it, I'm testing it out. Or are you an achiever freelancer? You are fully committed, you understand the realities, and you're in it till the end, no matter the highs and lows. So so just think about that. Where do you fit as a freelancer? Where are you? All right, so let's talk about the second achievement, offerings in a compelling package. The question we want to ask is, am I an achiever? Am I a visionary? Am I a dreamer? Or am I a survivor in terms of offerings in a compelling package? If you're a survivor, you haven't thought about it. And the fact that I'm bringing it up might simply move you from survivor to dreamer. If you're a dreamer, you're thinking, yeah, I'd love to figure out what I'm good at, and I'd love to figure out how to publish my offerings and and you're just kind of learning and exploring. You know, you're a dreamer. If you're a visionary, you've tried some things out. Maybe you've blogged a little bit about it. You've told some people, maybe verbally, but you're testing it out. You're trialing it out. If you're an achiever, you have figured out what your offering is, who you're working with. You've written it down. You've published it, and you are promoting it in yourself. Then you are an achiever. So just take a moment and note down what it is that you are in terms of, are you a survivor, dreamer, visionary, or achiever in the second achievement, offerings in a compelling package. All right, the third achievement is a steady stream of paying clients. So if you're a survivor, you're like, that's even possible. If you're a dreamer, you're going, yeah, definitely, I'm learning all about how to do that, what it takes. If you're a visionary, you've probably gotten a few clients and you know it's possible, but you're not quite sure how to figure it out. If you're an achiever, you've figured it out and you're doing it consistently. So take a moment and write down whether or not you're a survivor, dreamer, visionary, or achiever in this third achievement of steady stream of paying clients. All right, so the next achievement, the fourth achievement, is active clients are maximized. So we want to ask ourselves, are we a survivor, dreamer, visionary, or achiever in this area? If you've never even knew that you could maximize clients, you're probably a survivor. If you've thought about how you can maximize your clients, but you've never done anything about it, you're probably a dreamer. If you've actually had a few clients where you've been able to get a little bit more work or upsell them, you're probably a visionary. If you consistently upsell and get new work out of your customers, you're an achiever in this achievement. So take a moment to write down where you are. All right, the next one is you are unaffected by the roller coaster. You are unaffected by the roller coaster. If you are just riding the roller coaster, screaming your head off, and you have no idea how to get on or off, you're probably a survivor. If you're a dreamer, you're thinking about how do I get off this roller coaster, how to get off this roller coaster, and you're thinking about it, but that's about it. If you're a visionary, you've figured out some tips and trips on how to manage that roller coaster. If you're an achiever, you've set up the emotional and financial systems where you have a steady freelancing vocation and you don't feel the ups and downs of freelancing. So take a moment and write down where you are in that state, in that for that achievement. All right, so the next achievement is wise and precise financial management. If you didn't even know that was a thing, you're a survivor. If you've thought about being wise with your money, you're probably a dreamer. If you've started trying or tried out some things, got some tools or bought some software or started tracking things, then you are a visionary. If you are consistently tracking and you have visibility in what's going on, you know how much you're spending, your invoices, who's late, you are an achiever. So take a moment, write down where you are. So let's jump into the seventh achievement, which is a unified personal and work lives. If you are essentially just working all the time and no boundaries anywhere, you're probably a survivor, just simply hanging on. If you're a dreamer, you've thought about, man, I I would love to have, work-life balance or work-life unity. You're a dreamer. If you've actually put some boundaries in place and tried some things, but just haven't figured out how to make it all work, you're a visionary. If you've got clear boundaries and you consistently enforce them in terms of personal and work balance, and they're both working in harmony. In fact, your work is actually helping you accomplish personal goals, and your personal work is or personal activities are helping your freelancing, then you are an achiever for this seventh achievement. So go ahead and take a moment to write down where you are. All right, the last section is the last achievement is we share what we've mastered, and this is where we're taking what we know and we're sharing it with other freelancers and helping teach them. And if you've never even thought about it, you're definitely a survivor in this area. If you've thought about, you know what, I could probably help others with what I know and what I've experienced, you're a dreamer. If you've actually taken some time, you had some conversation, you may have written a few blogs here and there, you're a visionary. If you're actively sharing, teaching, and mentoring others, you're an achiever. Go ahead and take a moment to write down where you are. All right, so we've now gone through all 8 achievements and you've documented where you are for each of them, and so you've self-assessed yourself. Now the question you need to ask yourself is, which of these is the most important? Which of these do you need to master quickly? And I want you to go ahead and take all 8 achievements and I want you to write them down in order of most important to least important. That's most important to least important. Go ahead and take a moment to do that. Pause the video if you need to, and go ahead and write down from most important to least important. Now that we have most important to least important, I want you to look at the top 3, and I want you to go ahead and write what's an action you can take for number 1, what's an action you can take for number 2, and what's an action you can take for number 3 to help move you along and actually move forward towards mastering that achievement. Go ahead and take a moment to write that down. All right, next to 3 of those actions, I want you to put a date when you're going to do those 3 different actions. Go ahead and write down a date of your goal of when you're actually going to do those 3 things. Go ahead and write it down. All right, you've written these 3 actions down and you've got a date next to those 3. Each time you accomplish a task, I want you to look back and add another task either to one of the achievements that you've designated as most important. Once you feel like you've mastered it, then I want you to move on to the next one. And I want you to continue to work through these until you've mastered all the different areas and you've learned to unify these pieces of the puzzle. Now, if you want to go deeper, you want to get more insight, more details, I've included a lot of resources in all the sections on this course to help you dive into the different achievements, the checkpoints of each achievement, and the details of those. If you want further insight and direction, I definitely recommend that you pick up a copy of the book, Path of the Freelancer, an actionable guide for flourishing in freelancing. Again, my name is Jason Scott Montoya. I'm the author. You can find it on Amazon. And the book will go in deeper and more in depth to help guide you through this process in terms of taking what's been shared and going deeper, but also giving a little bit more details in terms of your action plan. So I highly recommend diving into that. But I've also included a lot of resources in this online course as well to help guide you through a lot of these pieces as well. If you have any questions, please do add them to the Q&A section of the course, and I'll be happy to answer those as you post those. Thank you so much for taking this online course for flourishing and freelancing. Have a wonderful journey.